something to be careful about in the topic of being a lighthouse. So, your politician and authority knows this very well, that other people take their cue from them. And so they can use this as a tool to get you into a certain mindset, a certain perception versus these people. A typical example are politicians. And I want to pick one of them, which is Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, right? She is a lighthouse, yeah. Oh, role modeling the value of being a mother, being a nice and kind mother to her kids, but also to other people. And for talking to a lot of people around the world, there's some people, especially in Australia and New Zealand, who perceived her, and still perceive her, as someone who is role modeling, the value of family, of being a good mother and things like that. But unfortunately, this has been a tool, a facade for getting you into this mindset and not seeing the other type of behavior that she actually seems to be naturally going to, which is extreme authority, position of control, dictatorship, and potentially, I'm assuming, deep psychological problem inside a person where if you were to put side by side the image of the mother that we may remember of Jacinda Ardern and the image of what she's saying at the UN or the behavior that she has toward the people to some extent, then it doesn't make sense, right? It may appear as two different women. And so you need to be careful about that because some people are smart enough to really play on this. And politicians are expert on this, right? Some people in a position of authority are also expert on this, right? They talk well, they behave in an authoritative manner, in a knowledgeable manner, as an expert, as someone who has empathy for the people. But in the reality, what they do in terms of action and how you can catch them sometime publicly, it's not at all the person that they are, right? So they use the principle of lighthouse as basically a facade, and this facade may be difficult to tell, but if you scratch a little bit, right, you can actually realize and understand that, this is just used as a trick. And I think from the moment you actually realize, like, for instance, for Jacinda, that this is used as a trick, the credibility of that person is dead, simply dead. There's no coming back toward the original image because there's no more trust. The behavior, there was basically a tactic used to fool people into thinking that she was carrying good value, she had fundamentally good value, but in the reality, it's not the case. Again, what we often talk about on Peopleizer, perception versus reality, right? Be careful about the gap between your perception and the reality, and especially in a context where someone has played a trick on you to make sure that your perception is this one, where the reality is far different. So it's just something to pay attention to, and as I'm telling you about it, I do expect that you will look at it. You start noticing, especially if someone has really two different behavior. Why would someone have two different behavior? Why there's no consistency? It's often revealing something. Thank you.